The actress Jang Nara, born in 1981, and the actor Jang Hyuk, born in 1976, form the couple with most chemistry of Korean dramas. This couple of actors has starred in 3 works of romantic fiction until today. The first work of both together was in the series Successful Story of a Bright Girl that was broadcast for the first time between March 13 and May 2, 2002. In this successful romantic story of comedy and drama, Jang Nara plays Cha Yang-sun, a young girl who studies the last stage of high school and lives in the field with her grandmother. She and her grandmother live in poverty, while Cha Yang-sun's parents have had to leave the village and hide, because they were swindling and stealing, and many of their victims are looking for them. Cha Yang-sun, a strong and brave girl, fantasizes about her Prince Charming, but in her dreams, she is the one who saves the prince and not the other way around. For his part, Jang Hyuk plays Han Ji-tae, a young man, 9 years older than Cha Yang-sun, who is a rich heir. Han Ji-tae is the second most important manager of a major cosmetics company founded by his father and his father's business associate, and since he became an orphan at age 9, he lives practically alone. The CEO of the company from which Han Ji-tae is a manager and shareholder is Moon Young-im, the widow of Han Ji-tae's father's associate, and her daughter, Yoon Na-hee, is Han Ji-tae's girlfriend, partly because of the wishes of both families. Han Ji-tae is intelligent, responsible, and passionate, but he is also very arrogant and aggressive. Cha Yang-sun and Han Ji-tae met each other, by chance, one day in the field, when Han Ji-tae makes a parachute jump as part of a marketing campaign and accidentally falls on the bathtub in which Cha Yang-sun is bathing outdoors, at her grandmother's house. After Cha Yang-sun will go to Seoul and by another causality will have to work as a maidservant in the house of Han Ji-tae, to pay the debt of her parents. Although at first Han Ji-tae and Cha Yang-sun hated each other, they soon fall in love with each other. But when Han Ji-tae is the victim of the betrayal of a supposed friend who also works in the company and ends up bankruptcy, losing all his assets and living in absolute poverty, Cha Yang-sun must protect him and teach him to survive and have the determination and the courage to rise from his misfortune and recover what was taken from him. Meanwhile, misunderstandings and adversities will be obstacles to their relationship. Successful Story of a Bright Girl was a very funny and lovely story, which was a rating hit in South Korea, and in which for the first time was shown the intense chemistry on the screen of the couple formed by Jang Nara and Jang Hyuk. It took 12 years for this couple of actors to come together again in a project, and it was in the series Fated to Love You, the most famous and successful of their works together until today. The series, a version of a previous Taiwanese series, was broadcast for the first time between July 2 and September 4, 2014. Jang Hyuk played Lee Gun, the multimillionaire heir of a businessman's dynasty and the CEO of a huge and prestigious corporation that produces chemical products, mainly personal care products and cosmetics. He is a successful businessman, an elegant gentleman, but he is also a bit extravagant, with a scandalous laugh and a somewhat childish behavior. For her part, Jang Nara played Kim Mi-young, a young woman of just under 30 who works as an office clerk in a major law firm. She is a very sweet and exaggeratedly generous and helpful girl, to the extent that everyone abuses her kindness, but she is shy and has a very weak and sensitive personality, and low self-esteem, and hides her beauty under a somewhat nerdy appearance. At the beginning of the story, Lee Gun is determined to marry his longtime girlfriend, a famous ballet dancer. But he and Kim Mi-young met in a crazy and chaotic accident in a shopping mall, but still did not know that fate will reunite them. And is that both Lee Gun and Kim Mi-young travel to Macau, a city that is a special administrative region of China, and by chance, they stay at the same hotel. When some men try to lay a trap Lee Gun to implicate him in a shameful situation and to blackmail him, the plan ends up being a disaster and as a result, Lee Gun and Kim Mi-young end up drugged, and when Kim Mi-young enters wrongly in the Lee Gun's bedroom, they both have sex with each other. And Kim Mi-young gets pregnant with a Lee Gun's child. After the crazed messes that occur when the news of the pregnancy is discovered, Lee Gun decides to marry Kim Mi-young to take responsibility for her and their child, and she accepts for future of her child. Kim Mi-young will move to Lee Gun's mansion and his grandmother. And in the coexistence both will fall in love with each other very soon. It is the beginning of a funny story, lovely and touching, very emotive, with tragic and sad moments, and other happy and sweet moments. A story in which Lee Gun and Kim Mi-young must overcome many obstacles and adversities, live misunderstandings and crazed messes, suffer painful separations, while fate is determined to unite them and their love does not stop growing. The series had good rating levels in South Korea and success in other countries such as China and the Philippines. The third work of Jang Nara and Jang Hyuk together was in the telefilm Old Goodbye, which was broadcast for the first time on November 9, 2014. It is a very tragic and touching story, in which Jang Hyuk plays Kang Soo-hyuk, a man who survives on the streets as a sad loser with no future. One day he is notified that his ex-wife, Han Cha-hee, played by Jang Nara, has decided to leave to him her home, and then he learns that his ex-wife is dying of a very severe diabetes and for lack of a kidney donor. That is why she has decided to leave him the house as an inheritance, even though, since their divorce, 3 years before, they have not seen each other. While visiting Han Cha-hee at the hospital, Kang Soo-hyuk relives the feelings he had for his wife. When he goes to live at her house while waiting for the evolution of Han Cha-hee's disease, Kang Soo-hyuk discovers an old photographic instant camera, and to his surprise discovers that it is a magical object and that every time he takes a picture, he is transported to a moment in his ex-wife's past. Kang Soo-hyuk will try to take advantage of those brief time travels to change the future of his wife and save her, while in the present he takes care of her in the house in which they lived more than 2 years of happy marriage. A marriage that ended because she refused to have children and he did not know it was due to illness. But in the midst of his desperate and sad attempts to save the life of the woman he loves, Kang Soo-hyuk will discover other surprising and painful facts about their lives. But the fatal fate of the couple seems irreversible, in a very emotional and intimate story of pain, love, and repentance. These 3 stories demonstrate the extraordinary chemistry that exists between Jang Nara and Jang Hyuk, a couple of actors that always touched and enchant viewers in their wonderful works together, transmitting in an intense, realistic, and lovely way the image of lovers in beautiful and memorable love stories. Both in a juvenile story and happier than tragic, as in an emotive story with moments of comedy, but also very dramatic, as in a very heartbreaking and tragic story, these actors always give us epic and unforgettable love stories.